Well, good morning, my friend. Welcome to the Pastor's Podcast. Good to have you with me today as we continue to go on throughout the week. Starting the week off, had a good day yesterday in church, and I'm looking forward now as we get through the end. We got a missions conference coming up here in just a couple of weeks. Looking forward to that. It's going to be a wonderful time. If you happen to be in our area on August 23 through 27, we are having our annual missions conference. Would love to have you come. And got missionary Dan Diome Sr. and missionary Steve Heidenreich preaching our missions conference this year. Going to be a wonderful time. And I'd encourage you to start planning now, 7 o'clock on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Looking forward to that, seeing what God's going to do. And I'm excited about how God's going to touch our heart to reach the world with the gospel. Not just Jerusalem, but beyond Jerusalem, every part of the world. That's what we want. And I hope that we get ready with our hearts, that God would use us to reach the world. Wonderful day here at the church, and great crowds, both yesterday morning and last night. People saved, people baptized in both services, and that's exciting. That's my prayer every week. God, let us see someone saved and baptized in every service. I love that when God does that, and always gives us a good heart towards the souls of mankind. Then, of course, we got to follow up and keep them coming. And that's what we keep on trying to do. Well, today, want to talk about one word that will change your marriage. Scripture says in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 3, let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. Now, many are looking for the answer to a happy marriage, but they avoid one word that could change the whole atmosphere of the marriage. We read plethora of books about marriage, and I don't think that's bad, but most books on marriage can be summarized in one word that would change every marriage for good. The one word does not mean that there won't be disagreements in a marriage, but it does mean that the disagreements will be handled properly. This one word, if done, will change your relationship in your marriage for good. Now, God says, let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. So notice both ways. So the one word that changes a marriage is the word benevolence. You'll notice that God says the husband owes the wife benevolence, and likewise the wife owes her husband benevolence. So if benevolence is such a key word, what is it? Well, first, benevolent means to be thoughtful. Being thoughtful of your spouse means you consider their needs over yours. Now, one great contributor to marital issues is selfishness. If each spouse was thoughtful of each other, you would find we would be more careful not to say or do hurtful things to our spouse. You could avoid hurt in your marriage if you were thoughtful of your spouse. Second, being benevolent means to be kind. Kindness is a choice. Kindness means to be considerate of your spouse. Do you consider your spouse when you demand your way? Ladies, do you consider your spouse when he comes home from a hard day at work and then complain about the house not being big enough? Men, do you consider your wife when you come home and demand that she wait on you and after she has dealt with the children all day? Being considerate towards your spouse and thinking about what they have gone through all day would make you to be kind towards them. Be benevolent towards them. Third, being benevolent means to be charitable. Charity is love invested. Therefore, to be charitable towards your spouse would mean that you invest your life to please them. If each spouse lived their life to meet the needs of the other, you would never have one need not being met in the marriage. If you loved your spouse more than you loved yourself, meeting their needs would not be hard. Just part of what you would do. Fourth, being benevolent means to be unselfish. Selfishness is at the core of many relationships, especially marriage problems. Ladies, your husband's needs would be met if you were unselfish. Men, being unselfish would cause you not to be demanding of your wife as if she were some object. An unselfish marriage would think about the need of the other and try to meet those needs in some way because And you'd say, I'm not going to let inconvenience stop me from meeting my spouse's needs. Fifth, being benevolent means to be decent towards your spouse. Just because you've been married for years does not mean that you have the right to be crude in language or hateful in conversation towards your spouse. The person you ought to be the most decent towards is the one that you're married to, because they're supposed to be the love of your life. Now, never let familiarity with your spouse cause you not to treat them decently. Let the familiarity of your spouse cause you to know better how to meet their needs, to treat them with decency and dignity and respect and being benevolent towards them. My friend, being benevolent is something that God commands the husband to do towards the wife and the wife to do towards the husband. If we get both sides being benevolent with each other, you could resolve probably every relationship issue that you have. The only reason why we have relationship issues is because we stop being benevolent. You meet your spouse's needs. You be kind. You be courteous. You treat them thoughtfully. Think about them. And be careful to do what they need. And I promise you this, you can resolve just about every issue you have in your marriage. Well, my friend, I hope this is a great help to you today. Now let's remember today, be good to everyone. Everyone's having a tough time. Have a great day, my friend.